Hello everyone, Mr. Stevens here with another video lesson. This time we're looking at expanding brackets. So the main things we're going to be focusing on is something called ski jumps. You might have already heard that expression last year. Hopefully you remember a little bit about it, but we're going to go over it again today. And something that I want to make sure you guys are able to do by the end of this lesson is properly deal with negative numbers when we're also dealing with brackets, because I know that is an area where some students have struggled in the past. Before we get into expanding brackets, I want you to think about this example for a moment. We have three different rectangles here. There's the whole rectangle, and then there's also the blue rectangle and the orange rectangle. So if I want to calculate the area of the smaller rectangles, we know we times the length by the width. So the area of this is just going to be 2x, that's 2 times x. And the area of this is just going to be 2, that's 2 times 1. But if we're thinking about the area of the entire shape, we have a couple of different options. We can multiply this whole side by this side. What would that look like if we did that? Well, along this long side here, we've got a length of x plus 1, and along this side we've got 2, so if we wanted to multiply those things together, it might look a bit like this. But because we know the area already of the individual rectangles, this one is 2x and this one is 2, we also know that the area is equal to 2x plus 2. So somehow these two expressions are equal to each other. And if we can remember how to use our ski jumps, we know that when we're expanding a bracket, we take this number out the front, we times it by the thing inside. We take this number again and we times it by the other thing inside. And you can see that's exactly what we have over here. We have 2x, which is 2 times x, and we have 2, which is 2 times 1. So I'm going to show you on one of these examples now, and then I'll get you to do the rest by yourself. If it helps, I think it's a good idea to always draw on our ski jumps. So we remember that we take the 2 and we multiply it by x, and then we take the 2 and we multiply it by 3. I'm actually going to do this second one as well with you, and then I'll get you guys going on the last two. If we take our 3 and we times it by our y, we end up with 3y. If we take our 3 and we times it by, now this is not a 5, it's important to recognize that this is a minus 5. So 3 times minus 5 is minus 15. I want you to be really careful that when the operator inside the brackets is a negative, you have to remember that the negative and the number are attached to each other. So I'll get you guys to have a go. Pause the video, have a go at these other two examples, and when you come back, I'll have the solutions here for you. And here they are. Let me know if you have any questions about how I got to these answers. All right, I mentioned at the start of the lesson that we're going to want to make sure that we're very comfortable with dealing with negative numbers. So I'm going to get you guys actually to have a go at the first one on your own, and we're going to do the second one actually together. So pause the video here, have a go at the first one, and then when you come back, I'll show you the answer to the first one, and we'll go through the second one together. This first one is relatively straightforward. We're just timesing our number out the front by the two numbers in the middle, except this time the number that we're timesing by is minus 2. Minus 2 times x, minus 2x. Minus 2 times 5 is minus 10. That one's relatively straightforward. This is a bit more complex when we have a negative outside the brackets and inside the brackets. We have to be very careful what we do here. Let's do our first jump. That one is relatively simple, minus 3x, minus 3 times x. But for our second one, we end up with minus 3 times minus 4, because remember, the minus inside the brackets is attached to this 4, they go together. Now 3 times 4 is 12, but both of those are negative, so that means our answer is actually positive. Remember, negative times a negative, the answer is always positive. I'll get you guys to have a go at this one. The difference here is that we have an x outside the brackets and in the brackets. You just have to be careful here that when you're multiplying x and x, the result is x squared. Alright, this is the end goal of what we want to be able to do. We want to be comfortable with expanding brackets so we can simplify terms that include brackets. I want you guys to just have a go at these on your own, and yeah, pause the video. When you come back, I will go through them with you. Alright, we're just going to use ski jumps like normal. 4 times x is 4x, 4 times 5 is 20. But we have this minus 10 here that's always been there. So now we need to simplify this. There's no like terms for the x, so the 4x just gets written down. But we have plus 20 minus 10. Those two simplify down to plus 10. Again, over here. Our first step is going to be to expand the brackets. Minus 3 times x is minus 3x. Minus 3 times minus 4, we've already done this, is plus 12. And now we're going to just collect our like terms. There's no like terms for x again, so we just write our minus 3 down, but we've got plus 2 plus 12, which combine to plus 14. Okay, so we should be pretty comfortable with how to use ski jumps by now, and I hope that by the end of our practice, you'll be very comfortable with navigating negative numbers in these expressions. And there are quite a few questions for you guys to get through, so if you want to open up to exercise 3D and get started on that, that would be awesome. Thanks, guys.